So welcome back everybody, and welcome to the second tutorial on our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at a module of the software called Viewer, which is this right hand button up in the top here. You will notice that that is separated from the other two module buttons. The reason for that is that as a normal user who is responsible for validating my own handwriting, or as an administrator responsible for validating everybody's handwriting, you would only see this button, and this opens in a separate window, so they only get access to that part unless you give them access to the design tool and the administration screens, of course. The viewer is essentially an interface that all forms that are submitted to the system go through. They are not applicable to all forms, but primarily used for validating that the recognition did a good job when it got to Formidable. Recognition, it has to be said, is very, very good, but sometimes people write things where they shouldn't, or write them in a way that they shouldn't, and this can sometimes skew the system, and this is why we offer this facility. You can decide per form whether you use this facility or not, and like I said, really only suitable for checking recognition levels and producing clean data that is going to be used in a database or a system. It is pointless validating handwriting and checking it if that recognition, which is spat out in XML or CSV format, if it's not going to be used for anything, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm just going to go to full screen and click on Viewer. And here you'll recognise the three windows that we use: the left, middle pane and the right pane. The left pane shows any forms that have come in, and if this was a new form there will be a new entry in here. So this works a little bit like an email inbox. You will also notice in brackets some numbers at the end of each of these. This represents any new forms that haven't been validated. So for example, here there is one form that hasn't been validated. In the middle here you'll see an inbox and a completed box. Once we've performed a validation of a form and pushed the Save and Complete button, that's when this form will move into the completed box. At the top here we have a search button which allows me to search for certain things such as content, etc., pattern ID, document ID, and of course the search place where I could write something and perform a search. Okay, so that helps people filter. Let's just clear that off. Okay, I'm now going to go to a form that I did just the other day for somebody, and here you'll notice each entry of each form that's come into the system. The newest one would appear at the top and the oldest one right down at the bottom. Obviously it's time and date stamped, the name of the form itself. This enables me to click on here and see a preview of the thumbnail and also download it into a folder should I wish to. The email address of the pen user is also shown, and the number of times that form has been submitted. So this header is summary information, and over here in the right hand column we've got some more further details which we can see or not see the preview. From here I can download straight away a PDF with the pen strokes, so a replica of the writing, a textual PDF with converted text dropped in each field, XML or CSV, and these actions here would have been set up in the design tool when we first set that form up. So for instance, if I'd only asked for a PDF of handwriting, all I would get is this button here. Audit information such as time and date, when it was written on. Every document that is sent to the system is given an ID, so that's a unique ID, 4372, belonging to that form now. The pattern ID, which the pen knew about when it wrote on the pattern on the paper, and what state it's in. Also, if I mouse over on the history, you'll see that my pen ID is flagged up as well. So that's summary information. What I'm going to do now is go into the editing window. So by double clicking this header here, we now go into an editing window. And this enables me to see the writing on the top and the converted text at the bottom. Not all the forms on this form were set to recognise data. So, for instance, the demographics here, the Peter Brown and the Imperial House in Belfast, you'll notice there's no results in the bottom here, and that's because I didn't put recognition behind those. But I did put recognition behind this field and this field. Note, interestingly, how the colours change to highlight which field you're looking at and comparing. So if this was wrong, we could obviously amend that, but as you can see, it was 100% correct. Quick scroll down and both move together, and you'll see here, hello, this is a good way to capture data, has translated perfectly into this field here. Again, I could amend that should I wish. There are some buttons here that enable me to zoom in and zoom out to make this a personalised experience. I can also get rid of this preview pane if I wish, and use the total width of the screen. There is also another view. At the click of a button I can make that a left to right, which some people prefer, and fit them to the page there. So that's another way of doing it, of course. There's numerous options for this for people to set. There is actually one more, which is in settings, and this is where you set these up. So when you automatically open a document, do you want it tiled horizontally or vertically? There is another one called single documents, which I can show you just by going back into that form. Now you'll see a different view completely, and here you see just the writing on this side and the fields on each of the other sides, and it jumps to each of the fields as you click through. Whilst we're in this simple view, I can show you one of the other features of the product, which enables you to replay how the form was filled in. And that might be useful for seeing why somebody maybe signed something before they added some, I don't know, some credit card details or something. There's options to speed this up and slow it down as well. Skip empty frames, where nothing was written it will just skip that replay. And where there was multiple submissions made, you can have these drawn in a different colour automatically, but this was only one submission. So I'm going to go back to my settings, and I'm going to flick back to my other view, split document horizontally. Yep. Okay. I do need to close that document again and go back in. Okay. You'll notice in this view the playback button is in here. If I had attached any photographs or voice files or video files to this form when I submitted it from my mobile phone, they would be in the attachment box here, shown as individual photos. I can even upload attachments, or I can just mouse over those and download them to my desktop should I wish. So let's assume that I have validated that and it's all okay. There's down to the bottom here, if there was more pages I could flick to the next page. Once I've got to the bottom of the first page, I can replay it from there. The scores indication is set up in settings. You may have seen that. That is telling the system to be strict with the way that it looks at recognition, or be moderate. So this is how it spots potential mistakes, and somewhere in the middle is usually really about right. If we put a strict thing on there, most of the fields would go pink, and they would highlight me to them being a potential error. If we go moderate, you'll notice the pink disappears. So the pink areas is the system saying, based on this level, I think there might be a problem there, so check the pink ones first. So once I'm happy with that, I would simply do a save and complete, and the output would now be emailed to me, or pushed into a system, or FTP'd, or dropped into a shared folder, or whatever we had agreed. And that document should now be in the completed box at the top of the list. And there you go. And that is essentially the viewer. As always, please check back for more as and when we upload some. Thank you.